Jay, my boyfriend, he loves to have candy and he like tacky candy, Section 8 kind of candy. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just like
not chocolate.
No, nothing refined.
She like that Laffy Taffy.
Yeah, like the candy that people of color that we like. Okay,
the flavor. Yes.
Yes, nerds, airheads. And now I kind of like it. Now when you're in bed, because I have a couple drawers here, and I've got my little star piece.
She said easy access.
And I don't really eat these.
I love Snickers.
What you call me? Yeah. But
so talk to me about it's so close in bed right before. It's like so nice. Are you brushing your teeth before you go to bed?
Oh.
So what will happen is I will brush my teeth.
So what will happen?
I'll brush my teeth. I will brush my teeth and then I'll eat anyway after that. Like I'll just have the candy. This is recent. This is new to me because
you have a boyfriend.
No, because I don't really like sweets in this way, but it's kind of convenient when you have it next to the bed,
Yeah, no, I mean, I fully understand the efficiency of having
just stay up in bed, like
911
Babysitters Club. Yeah,
I like to report a murder.
No, and I share that same thing with you of like, oh, I brush my teeth, but there's that thing I want. But I hope we're all flossing here, right? We're all flossing.
Not as much as I should, but yes.
But so you understand though, like the process of the floss into the teeth. You're just like, I was standing for 5 minutes, and now you're telling me I'm being seduced by a Lindt chocolate or a Hue chocolate with like almond nutter butter, nut butter or something like that.
That was a different type of night.
Exactly. Exactly. That's okay. If that stays in your teeth, maybe the protein helps the enamel.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Oh. We'll have to look that up. I don't know. Yeah. We don't want to start any RFK Jr. rumors here.
Also known as Aquarius theory.
Yeah. The Aquarians just love to say shit and be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I heard it. I don't know where I heard it, but I heard it.
Hi, milkers. Welcome back to Tres Leches, the podcast where three Latina friends tell stories, unpack identity, and get real about everything from pop culture to politics.
It's sweet, it's a little messy, and always drenched in milk.
3 kinds of milk, in fact.
And the best part is, you can enjoy our milk even if you're lactose intolerant.
Rate, like, subscribe, and share with someone who gets it. Or needs to.
It's funny we're talking about dental hygiene. I just went to my dentist here, and it had been like a year because like I don't have one in New York, and I was just like, I'm pretty good about keeping my teeth clean. But he's like, okay, so I'm gonna give you a little thing to do. Like when you take the toothpaste, don't put it on your toothbrush because it ends like if we put 100% of that on there. He's like 35 to 50 is really hitting like every crevice of your back molars and all of that kind of stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it on your finger and then you're going to place it in the back for specific points. For me, he was like, get back in there because of how you don't grind, but like because of just like how they're formed now because of whatever. He's like, you're gonna need to like actually just put the paste on it and then take your toothbrush and then put it on top of, and then like kind of like you're shaking your hand a little bit. And I just love that because I believe him. I'm like, oh yeah, like it's messy, it's hard to sell that in a commercial. He was like, oh, if you want to do some good disinfecting, don't use Listerine, use hydrogen peroxide and cut it with water.
Yes.
I love that. Right? And if you're British, we lost you 5 minutes ago.
Oh my! Well, you guys should stick around.
Oh my goodness! There are 3 listeners in Glamshire. Just stop listening.
From Manchester. Ian's old schoolmates.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to hear from them. By the way, if you're around, please do.
I tried finding one of my only best friends from when I lived in the UK. His name was Benoit, and we were attached. Benoit, we were attached at the hip, and I've wondered, like I wonder like where he's at, And there was this other girl named Tatiana.
He was probably at Coachella. You probably made out with him.
Wow. Maybe I called him Benoit or something like that.
Benoit.
That's Coachella.
Coachella. She's over.
She's over, but she's still
in you. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, get that checked.
No, I've showered. No, I've showered. I've bidet'd every day. No, that's not what I actually didn't have any sex while I was on Coachella.
Who does? Who has the time?
Exactly. Who has the time in this economy?
Yeah.
And what?
So but there's intimacy, no?
Yes.
Into me see.
Into me see.
Yeah, there's
a lot of intimacy.
There's personal intimacy. There's intimacy with others. There's intimacy sometimes with groups. There's intimacy sometimes with a musical artist that doesn't know you exist, but you are obsessed with them.
Oh, yes.
No, I just mean like not physically. I mean, emotionally.
Oh, I see. I thought you were gonna drop some Benson Boone tea.
Correct.
Of all people, Benson Boone.
Oh, he was great.
Hope.
I mean, he was great. I wouldn't be upset about it.
Oh, baby. I walked by him in that artist compound and he was just like leaning. He was like leaning, like talking to like three girls. And it was just giving like star. Do you know what I mean? Just like that kind of like, so where are you from? That energy was happening.
MCE.
Wealth and fame will do that to a girl. Or it will do the opposite.
But it doesn't do it to all the girls.
It doesn't.
No, that's what I said. Or it could do the opposite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, especially when you're a short guy, sometimes you gotta put on that.
I think the key, if you're a short king, by the way. Also, I went to go see Kevin Sullivan and Friends like 2 weeks ago, and really great comics were all there that night. And someone made a joke about like how a thing that's technically like a glitch, if you add king at the end of it, all of a sudden it's like a feature. So it's like, oh my God, work, short king is like an easy one, but he said something like ridiculous. That's like, oh my God, I don't remember it, but I think about this and you just made me think like for short people, I'm like, just live tall. Do you know what I mean? Like live tall inside yourself. Oh, some of them Benson Boone does that.
And some of them do that. You're like, okay, girl, we get it.
I sure am.
Not Benson, Benson. I don't live like a tall king. I shrug like a short hobbit.
Yeah.
Like Carrie Coon.
Yeah, I live short. Well, because it's like, you can walk around and puff around all you like.
Baby, you're still 5'6".
But the 6'1" girls, and they may be nice to you, but the height is one of those things. It's a dividing factor for amongst many.
I love a tall person with bad posture.
Oh, sexiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm like, okay, you ape.
Yes,
you Neanderthal.
Exactly. Come over here, bring that Marfan syndrome over here. Sit next to me, Abe Lincoln. Oh,
Abe.
Wow.
That head. Sorry.
I've always loved, but that's Ian can attest. Since I was a young
girl,
gay tyke on the playground, I've always liked an unusually tall male, awkward, long, lanky. Yeah, but I've dated my.
Oh yeah, no, you don't always do anything.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is very, very true.
Oh my God. Go.
But we're obviously I need to really get more of a everything happened from here to here about Coachella. But I have one more question about Benson Boone. When you saw him in person, in the artist compound, in that VIP, it's like higher than VIP, right? In that section, is he able to chill and be with people, or is his security there?
No, that's what I mean. It was like I was with Vincent and we were standing there, and I was like, oh, he's just literally standing like in the most random spot. That's the whole thing. Is like there are specific little areas you can only walk in if you're with the artist, and they're like, oh, do you have the artist with you? And I'm like, oh no. They're like, no, so just come back when you have the artist with you. Fine.
I was gonna say, did you have an artist pass?
I had an artist pass for the last day because from the I stayed at a different house on Thursday because I wanted to get there early, and then my house with my company, from Friday to Sunday, we had to check out at 10 a.m., right? And so we're checking out, and I'm like getting my shit together, and I see one on the floor, and I was just like, guys, did you take, because Paul, Alex, all of them, they all had the artist pass, and like, oh no, that must have been our friends or something who like dropped it. I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Our friends.
So I literally grabbed it, and I was like, because I did have VIP, but I thought, well, let me just see like what would happen if I had this. And
Let me get a look.
let me get a look. And I did, and it was really nice. And you're able to use the golf carts to kind of take you to sort of through the back end channels so that you can get to the stages a little quicker. The free water, all of that, it's nice. And so he was just chilling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just like right there, just like in the shade. Gotta save and protect the skin.
Well, for us non-Coachella-lites, because I've never been.
Is this something you want to do?
I would like to do it, but I think my next question will illumine why perhaps I haven't done it.
Okay.
First of all, when Coachella started became more in style, I was buckling down financially. I was started to go to school, then I started working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't meet me right in my peak spending, like, fun moment of my time of my life.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't have
So
that
your
now.
30s.
Yeah, exactly. But it didn't really meet me at the perfect time. So that was A. And now B, I was going to ask, how do you feel like in any way that you've aged out of Coachella, or at this 27 plus age that you are right now, do you still feel like current and cool and it's fun? I'm happy to be there. They're happy to have me. You know what I mean? I'm happy to be there.
The latter, for sure.
I'm happy
sure.
to be there. They're happy to have me.
Yeah. They're happy, yeah,
So is there an age that's kept me from going? It's been like, oh my God, I'm a little too old to be in my James Charles assless chaps, trying to get a picture of my outfit. But am I? Maybe not.
No. Go, Johnny, go.
No, I also think the same thing until I'm there. And then I'm like, oh yeah, fun is for everyone. Music is for everyone. You are ageless. You don't have to do some of the things that the kids are doing, I've been going to Coachella, this was my 5th year. And in the beginning, the pictures were really important to me. The outfits were important to me. And as time has gone on, like things change and needing to be at certain places and seeing certain artists. Like this year, everyone's like, Johnny, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't care. I'm just like down to clown. Wherever we're going to go, I'm going to have a good time. And
we're going.
Yeah. So I feel like depending on your age, there's something for everyone. I really do think that. There's not lawn chairs where you can sit with your kid in your lap. That's not what it's giving.
Yeah. No.
Although there are kids and people, little babies, literal babies with their parents. Which is
with
very
the little
cute and
headphones
scary.
over their heads.
It's so cute. It's very cute,
But yeah, I think one of the biggest things about Coachella is that there's a lot of like lore around it if you haven't been. But once you go, of course, there's always things to critique. Always. Sure. And I think that sometimes when people go, they can choose the road they want to go down. They could choose that, God, it's so corporate. There's so many brand activations, da-da-da-da. Or they can choose to be like, wow, I'm in a huge field. The price that I paid to see all of these really great acts, like, it's really what you make of it. And I think once you go, it is one of my favorite things to do throughout the year. And sometimes I'm like, oh, people probably think I'm such a like this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I actually don't care, because when I'm there, I'm having such a good time. I'm meeting a lot of.
So what? Who cares?
Yeah, a little. And I'm meeting. I remember Chapel Roan. I didn't know who Chapel Roan was, and then Coachella changed that. I didn't know who Fred again was this years ago, and Coachella changed that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think.
Listen, I love a glass of hateration just as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I really hate Coachella and music festival hateration. If you don't like it, okay. Stars in your crown. You don't like it. I'm so happy for you that you don't like or like this or hate this thing.
Yeah.
but there is a lot of this year specifically, because I think because of the campgrounds situation and the more access to that, and the more alternative ways that seem to be kind of Coachella sponsored housing.
Right.
Right. You know, it's like Coachella sanctioned.
Yeah.
Campers
that goes awry.
Well,
sometimes
awry, but it didn't like.
I mean, waiting 12 hours.
Nobody died.
Well, that's also the thing. Like everyone's experience, even in the campgrounds, is different. Because I remember asking like, "Oh, how were the showers this morning?" I saw on TikTok the showers.
Yeah.
He's like, "The showers were fine for me." I think that's just like a couple people's experience because they woke up too late and thought that they were going to use the shower at noon when everyone else was trying to use the shower. I'm like, "Oh, correct."
Yeah.
Points.
But I saw a lot of there was this was the hot take of the moment.
Oh.
Where else but America would people spend $500 to live like homeless people?
Oh.
This country is so fucked up. It's that idea of the like, okay, like, yeah, they're camping, yes, but that doesn't speak to the worthiness of the event. It's just the nature. They're in a place where there's no houses or hotels. They're in the middle of the desert. This is what this is. It's a festival.
Yeah.
Like, just let the gals and the guys and the bays and the theys and the thems have a good time. Just let them have a good time. I find it just so annoying when I understand that there are problems, and as Daniel Day-Lewis once said, there will be blood. Obviously, there's going to be things about Coachella that are unfun, even for people who love it.
Yeah.
But just like, okay, so you don't like music festivals. Okay. Fine. Why? What is it about us that we have to break down things that people are enjoying? We're yucking their yums. There was a lot of yucking of the yums. And y'all were probably very in your yum, so you didn't see it.
Yeah.
But as someone who was being served the content of yuckers, because I was not there, so TikTok was like, "Oh, you're not there, bitch. Let me connect you with the other poor motherfuckers. Yeah. these other bitter queens."
Right.
So I was seeing their content. It was a lot of that. But I'm so glad you had a good time, and I am going to go next year.
Okay, so you're going.
I'm going to go next year. I'm going next year to Coachella for the first time, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
I just was such a healthy amount of FOMO. I was like, you know what? That looks like such a good time. And it looked age appropriate. I didn't think that I felt like, okay, I could be there and have fun with my Gen Zers and my Gen Alphas. Are they too young to be there? No, they can be there. With my Gen Alphas and my Millennials.
Right.
It's Jay's 40th birthday now in the fall.
Right.
And one of the things he wants to do is go to Coachella for it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
That would be very fun. I have a feeling I was driving yesterday and I thought, oop, it was like one of those like witchy moments, which we'll see. But I feel like Doechie's gonna perform next year.
Ooh. Well, I'm excited about that because I love our Floridian,
our Florida
fox.
Tampa girl. Yeah.
May I ask a question of you both? What would you say was your favorite performance? Actually, yeah, favorite performer of the weekend.
My favorite, well, Lady Gaga was
Lady Gaga. Yeah.
transformative.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now the question: favorite performance from the Lady Gaga mega mix. What was the top moment?
Oh, I thought that the entrance was everything. I thought that the whole, like, her coming out in that red dress that was like a prison for her dancers. It was just it. Yeah. I was telling Philip, I haven't felt that energy at Coachella since I saw Beyonce. That, like, you could feel the whole, just like, oh God, I get goosebumps thinking about it. It was just, I wasn't feeling good. Like, I hadn't eaten in a minute and I was tired. And, you know, that's the thing when you're, 27 plus, it's like you do have to pace yourself a little and prepare a little better. Ian's really good because Ian will just start stretching in the middle of the damn field throughout the day. And it's, I'm like, one thing about her, she's going to stretch, honey.
Yes. Famous line. But it's still by Sunday.
And eat.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Couple
Yeah,
of snacks.
Sunday, I made sure I ate for sure. You know, I'm not like a Lady Gaga stan. You know, I wouldn't stalk her, and I'm not a crazy fan. Which is what those two things.
You're not a
mean.
monster, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just not that person who like lives and dies by her. But Born This Way album, big part of my like. I remembered that moment. I was in Florida. I was doing Rock of Ages. I was doing like Step Up, and so I was driving a lot, and so that album was what I listened to, and it was pre iTunes. It was just like a different time, and so I love her in that way, right? That like. There was a moment in time where her album hit me, and so I've never seen her live, and I literally was standing there, and I just thought she really was born to do this, and she is so smart, and she brings like a heightened level of ferocity and production and overall like I love her gothicness because I as a kid was very gothy. Like I love vampires, I love fantasy, like Jinko pants were my thing. I was a PacSun kid. Yeah, before Juan met me, I was like a PacSun kid, and I had like, you know, the little metal balls, like necklace thing. Like it was crazy. I dyed my hair blue, like nuts.
Word.
And so that's why it almost feels like a bit of a renaissance coming back to wearing Vans right now, because I'm like, oh my God, like these are really for me.
You remind me of that, like.
I'm being so serious, guys.
You remind me. I know you're serious. That's also why it's so funny. Is that you remind me of that clip with the girl with the blue hair. Oh no, it's Selena Gomez. She's like, yeah, I just wanted to do it.
No, it's Debbie Ryan. It's Debbie
No,
Ryan.
Debbie Ryan's the one that says, I met with the president of Disney Channel and I said, we're going to make history. No, but it's Selena Gomez at a premiere of something and she has a little streak of blue hair. And she's just like, I want it to be kind of like funky and crazy.
Is that Selena? Oh gosh, to me, Selena and Debbie, I guess, have morphed into one.
Yeah, they're
they
are very
I'm
interchangeable.
like wearing Vans now, and it's just
Anyway,
like,
yeah. But like, anyway, so all of that whole tangential, you know, now that you know more about me, like, I think watching this specific performance, it was, you know, there was a gothiness to it and super kind of like alt rock with and I just loved every single minute of it. Her makeup, the choreography, Paris, whatever they both did. Yeah, exactly. Like they just created magic and the dancers were supreme. And like you're out in a field, like Johnny said, and it's a moment. I was sitting down, because we waited. By the way, we didn't talk about this, but remember, Johnny, we waited for that hour because we like found the spot, which I think is like, if I was by myself, I would never do that. I'd be like, we'll just show up where, and we'll see it wherever. But the group likes to do that, and I was just like, okay, I'm with the group. And at one point, it was so uncomfortable to be standing. I sat down, and I had a lovely conversation with like 2 or 3 girls next to me, and 2 of them were living in the campsite, and they were like, oh my God, it's like, it's fun, but like, it's no joke either. It's really hot, blah, blah, you know, and there was this whole moment around it, and we were just talking about Gaga and how excited we were. And they asked me, they were like, oh, like, what do you think she's going to open with? And I was like, I mean, if she's smart, she'll open with the category is dance or die. And just wham, bam, start us off with the fucking hit. And she did.
I said it from the jump. I said she's going to start off with Abracadabra. And everyone's like, no, she's going to save that for the end. I'm like, no, she's starting with it.
Yeah.
And boy, did she. And that transition from Abracadabra into Judas. I would put that on a fucking biscuit and eat it every morning.
Not to toot my own presence, but I was so present that I had a moment where I was like, I gotta film that. And I was like, no, I'm going to enjoy this so much. And I fucking did. To the point where I'm like, God, yeah, it was great, but I don't remember it. Can't open my phone to look at it again. And that's okay. But it's hilarious because then like once I got out of my own, like, you know, just the trance of that, I was like, well, now I need to get some footage. And like, it's such a little wonky way that I get to Judas. You're like, you missed the first section of it, whatever.
Tooting your own presence is hilarious.
Not to toot my own presence.
Presence, exactly.
I'm going to start saying that.
Something that to me found that surprised me, or I don't know, maybe it didn't surprise me, but it was affirmed, is that Lady Gaga is a lady for the people. I'm always surprised by how how wide an audience can enjoy her. That's not to say that all of the people that are like Ian, maybe perhaps like everyone's a Gaga stan supreme deluxe, but most, I think a lot of people, even if they're like, I don't really know that much about Lady Gaga, I don't like her, they go to the concert and you'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, come on.
But that's the thing, that
this
just
is who
goes.
she is. She's very interesting.
But it's also,
in that
it
she can
says
do
that's
that.
what time does. Time will cement people into your brain, whether you listen to them or not. You know what I mean? Like,
What about Katy Perry?
no, I mean, well, I wouldn't compare the two. I mean, the influence that Lady Gaga has, and say like Beyonce, like there's like the top girls that really, that most, like, that have a commercial success that most people, and you know, I will say Katy Perry does have that to a certain extent. I don't know that if she did Coachella, it would be the same kind of, you know, everybody would be like, yeah, I remember where I was in 6th grade when that fucking came out, you know, and I think that's why Lady Gaga has such, because of course there's a lot of people that don't know the Abracadabra songs, or sorry, the I sound like a parent.
Mayhem.
You know, the Abracadabra ones.
Yeah, the Abracadabra songs from
the mayhem songs. But as soon as like bump 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 bump, the poker face beat drops, everyone's like, ah! Because you know, that was a point in time where no matter what, you couldn't escape it, whether you wanted to listen to her or not.
But I guess why I bring up Katy Perry, and I actually really enjoy Katy Perry's music. Always have. So this is not to shade Katy Perry. It's to talk about how open-hearted, in my opinion, Lady Gaga's music is. It's very appealing to people, even if they are not Lady Gaga, even if they don't support the LGBTQIA. You know, even if they're not monsters, even if they're not people who you would just never see at a Lady Gaga concert, maybe you wouldn't see them there, but they could go and have a really good time.
Yeah, I
and that's
agree.
because her artistry is very dynamic. And, you know, it's not just because she, like, you know, did a couple jazz tunes.
Couple jazz tunes.
Jazz tunes. No, it's because she is an artist and who's thinking about the music and costuming and performance and from up high. She's thinking about it all. So there's something for everyone to dig into.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's why she's such a perfect treat for something like Coachella, you know?
Yeah. And to think, I almost didn't go. Like, because I saw when the lineup happened, I was like, oh, like literally I remember because I think on our text thread, Johnny sent it and I was like, I was like, Missy's the one that excites me the most, right? At that time. Because again, not a stan, not a monster in that way. But then, you know, I got here, West Coast, for the last couple months, and it was just like, why am I fighting? Like, I'm about to start with her. Like, just go be in the place you love to be, right?
I'm sorry to interrupt. When you just did that face, the listeners can't see it, but you look just like Patrick Schwarzenegger. When you like squint your eyes like that, doesn't he look like Patrick a little bit?
I'm just gonna fucking
see that. I see that a little bit.
Interesting.
I'm just not gonna fucking fight it anymore. You know what I mean?
Word.
It's like I'm just not gonna do it. Just saw his papa yesterday, actually. Arnold is his dad, right?
Yes.
That seems crazy to me because he has another son with another person. Did you guys know this?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway,
but from an extramarital affair.
Correct. And I didn't.
He's got another son too.
Okay.
Yeah, he has another son, a younger son, who actually just lost a ton of weight. Actually, I saw it on People magazine today. He lost like a person. He's a very handsome guy.
So 3 in total.
He was 4 total because he has a daughter.
Well, sorry, I was counting the boys, but like, yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, the daughter as well. So 4 children.
Right? I think it's 4. There might be more. I don't remember now. But
Anyway,
I'm trying to think of Maria Shriver's womb, and I think it only carried 3.
Got it.
But fact check me, folks. My computer's over there. I'm trying to fly free of Google on this call. So.
Oh my God.
You feel a little fancy free. You know, I like it. You seem very like rested. And just like you've got pillows around you and fabrics.
Yeah,
and
rested I am not, but unencumbered I am.
I love.
So you decided to go to Coachella. You're happy you did.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyway, I'm happy I did, and just like to kind of just finish out what Johnny was saying. Coachella does get a bit of a bad rap in that way, and the same way everyone is going to be like, I don't like that, I hate that, blah, 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 and all that stuff, right? But then, you know, you go, and it's just really fun to see people feeling comfortable expressing themselves. I talk about this a lot, and I always say this, that like we walk around, I certainly do, holding, and in gay spaces there's this thing, you know, like we're holding, and if you're taking your shirt off, you are for sure holding. You could have an 8-pack of abs and that person is still holding. It's like tightening all, but I even mean just like symbolically, metaphorically, there's this energetic way that we walk around in the world, like a little, like we're holding, you know, onto ourselves. And when you go to Coachella, there's this feeling of like freedom and then expression, and people are dressing like Juan says, we live in a world and the most beautiful place, and it's so lovely to see humans who go, I'm gonna buy this thing and wear it for this occasion on vacation because I want to feel pretty. Do you know what I mean? And that is
well, the drugs and alcohol help that.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that that's not a part of it.
They
as
do,
well.
but the pre-planning, the
pre-planning
creative direction, I actually love it because again, I love clothing, and so I love to see people express themselves through clothing. And I'm not talking just the most high, you know, the highest drag. I also like to see what just like a plain straight boy wears too. I just love how anybody expresses themselves when they're going to be on display.
Correct.
They're going to be on display. I like that. I like to see what people wear. I like when people dress up. I like when people buy a new thing to wear something. And I think that that's so much fun. I think people hate that about Coachella, and it's what I like about the
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Show me what it is you would. Where else are you going to do it? Is this like in your closet? No, I want to see it out in the field, babes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What? You don't mind it in the closet? Is that what you're going to say? No.
No. I mean, listen, I've done it in the closet. I've done it out of the closet. Wherever you're going to be, I too can be there. As long as my cell phone has a charge.
And the good Wi-Fi.
The good Wi-Fi would help, but, you know, or a clear view of the sky. No, one of the things I don't like about Coachella, here's one, is like when someone does a fit check, and the fit check is just like, designer. That to me doesn't feel in the spirit of Coachella. To me, Coachella should be like new and old, or like even if it's old archival designer, but like someone was like, my jacket is Balenciaga, my skirt is who's my skirt? Is it? I can't remember. Oh, no. Yeah. My skirt is Prada. Like looking at her friend, it was just like, that's not really to me in the spirit of Coachella. Coachella is supposed to be more renegade, but you know, the girls are going to, the girls are going to peek.
Well, yeah, there's definitely different types of people that go to Coachella. There's the people that are like, I'm going to Coachella because that's what everyone's doing right now. And then there's the people that go to Coachella because they want to feel free. Like Ian was saying, like they just want to have a good time. They want to feel like a kid. They want to be in their childish joy. Yes. And I love that. And that's what I love. That's why I love dressing up for anything and everything. But Coachella is always very fun because I'm like, how am I going to enjoy what I'm wearing in the field? And yeah, I always do. I really always do. I mean, sometimes I'll look back and I'm like, wow, she really was going for a look. But it's so not, fun. I don't know. It's fun to look back and be like, yeah, she was.
Yeah, but you hit it. You always, you mostly hit. I don't know the canon of your work for like year 1 and 2, but like, I think when I started going to Coachella and we were going together and all of that, like you've always been so good at your looks.
Yeah. Well, there was only one time that I was like that. It was like for Ariana Grande's year, I wore like these like Nike pants, but they were like shorts, but pants. You remember?
With Will?
Yeah, with Will. And then I had like a choker that was like a Swarovski choker and pink glasses and a pink hat. And, you know, I was like trying to be Ariana. And then I had a jacket that was Nike women's that was very open and fun.
Yes, it was I remember.
Fun, you know, but I just thinking back, I'm like, it was a lot of look. Like, you know, whereas now I'm like, let's pare it down just a little bit, you know, have one little piece that maybe is the statement. I mean, you have the hair, so it's like, you don't really need to do that much.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people that were wearing like leather jackets that were like, that looked like Kristen Wiig in Bridesmaids when she's eating the almond. Just like.
Just hot. Just
hot, baby.
That is crazy.
It's okay. I don't know that the like Ralph Lauren polo bomber that you found in Venice is really that was for here.
Right. Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Save it, girl. Save it.
I love looking at women and femme people wear stuff to Coachella. Like there was this girl that wore this skirt that was made out of boxers. And she had like first of all, she looked like Sabrina Carpenter. She was short and sweet, blonde. And I was like, I can't get over the way that you look. You look so sickening. That
Did
she's
you tell
like,
her?
Of course I told her.
Work.
Yeah, I was like, this skirt is sending me to the moon. She's like, I just wanted to wear boxers, and then I was like researching like boxers, and then I found this skirt that was made out of boxers, and I'm like, and that is innovation, that is style, that is, I'm just like going off on her, and she's like, oh my God, I fucking love you, and I'm like, I fucking love you, I don't know, it's just
yes.
Coachella reminds you of like what would happen if we all just let go.
Correct.
And but I do say some of that like does have to do with the drugs because a lot of people are on MDMA, Molly, whatever. And I'm one of those people that is not, I don't think drugs in small doses are fine. I'm like, you do them if you can. If you can't, that's fine. But it really does bring out, I think, people's truth. It reminds me of like what utopia would feel like with individuals if we all had our needs met. It would feel like I feel for 3 days on that field.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes.
Well, listen, I actually followed a great account. I kind of recall right now because I shouldn't say I followed. It was showing up on my feed.
Ian
of
Paget.
these two girls who, Chris Olsen. So there were these two girls. No, I follow him.
Funny, he was funny, and that's the beauty of also Coachella is like we could both be there.
Did you run
and
into
miss each other? No, we didn't.
Oh.
And I saw later, and I was like, oh my God, ain't that a bitch?
He ran into me. I ran into my knife 10 times. No, I followed this account with these two girls. They're like best friends, and they were talking about like sober Coachella.
Oh, so
they were talking about how they had been there before. As one of the girls was an alcoholic and one was in weed recovery.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were talking about how they had gone there before and like experienced it in a very different way, and like they were just being there for time. It was really nice. It was very, very wholesome. It was very sweet. And they went to Nobu, so I followed them. And they had the $300 omakase or whatever it was.
Oh, that was at Coachella?
Yeah, they had a whole Nobu. They went. Yeah, they had Nobu.
That's so funny.
And it was a prefix.
It's so funny. I've never had VIP or artists or anything like that. I've always done general admission, always. And sometimes people are like, how could you? How could you? I'm like, it's really all I've ever known, and I love it. Also, I'm not like getting stopped like a crazy person, so it doesn't really feel like I need to.
But I'm not getting VIP because I don't want people to stop me. You know what I mean?
No. I'm saying
if you see me, always say hi.
I could use that as I could, but I can't.
Oh,
I don't really need to. I could be like, oh, I don't know. I just, there's some people with the same amount of cachet that I might have that might make it a little more like, yeah.
So for me, the whole thing with VIP and it really does come down to an ease and efficiency. You have a different entrance that gets you into the fairgrounds a little sooner. And at the end of the night, or even when, and especially me, when I'm like, okay, everybody, I'm ready. Are you ready? Like what happens when when I get there and all of a sudden I turn into a bossy bitch and I'm just like, let's go. It allows me to get to my playground faster. You know what I mean? And so
for
that
double
is,
the price, of course.
I mean, it's not crazy. What's general admission?
First of all, general admission is with the shuttle pass is $730. Okay. Which is,
but for like another 3 or 4, you can.
No, it's double that. What? It's like.
Well, that's not what I paid this year.
Honey, call on Klarna, honey.
No, I mean I paid with Klarna this year.
I just read an article.
I saw that
general
article.
Admission people, yeah.
Yes, Klarna's all for music festivals.
And a lot of people were like, there were people in the comments because I think I saw it on Instagram that were like, "Wow, it's crazy what people spend their money on." I'm like, honestly, I'd rather spend $730 for 3 days of concerts that I probably wouldn't go see otherwise, individually, and just enjoying myself. Yeah, absolutely.
It's the highest ROI ever. Like, come on.
If you like music.
Return on investment.
If you like music.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
If you hate music and you're a horrible person, then you probably would hate it.
Yeah. Listener.
And it's not like for the two of you. It's not like you are people who go out and buy extraordinary handbags for no reason just to have them or anything like that. You both spend in ways that we all do. I'm a big spender, huge. I'm worse than both of you, but you don't spend frivolously on things that are like material. So if this is an experience that you're getting your money's worth. I believe that.
What's so great about like things like Coachella? It's like Coachella is like one of the biggest music festivals in the world, right? But then you have all of these local festivals that make it so easy for you to not even have to go on a trip. I also think it's such a great place to go during the day. A lot of people don't drink. A lot of people don't do any substances, and they go and it's just a place to enjoy music and not having to go to a bar.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. I really like festival culture. I've never really
is festival, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I've never really had any bad experiences. I've seen angry people for sure, but it's like I've never seen a fight at Coachella, which is crazy because you would assume with that many people. I'm not saying there haven't been. I'm sure there has, but
of course. But
there's not been any Mykonos brawl there.
Ooh! Oh, I love a Mykonos brawl though.
When the stars in the thousand spotlight.
Oh my god, a Mykonos brawl. I love fag on fag hate is fantastic. 16 of them. Exquisite. I love to see a gay man beat up another gay man. But if we want to talk about rage? You want to talk about rage? We should see if we can get the CC footage from Soho House.
Oh.
In West Hollywood, honey. Because Ian and we had it
out.
out. We had it in and out. Okay, we had it Kevin Klein.
It was it was the gayest, most alpha conversation you could ever experience.
But we were screaming.
I'll paint the picture for you, listener. We were first of all at Soho House, which if you all don't know, it is a members only club. Probably not as exclusive as it once was. Clearly, we three were in there, but. And
that is a Mary out of the line.
But at some point, the conversation turns to Whitney Houston's voice and Celine Dion's voice, and the longevity, and Mariah Carey's voice, and the longevity of these voices. And the argument was made, I think, by Ian, that if Whitney Houston were still alive and she had taken care of herself, she would still sound better than Celine and Mariah.
Mariah, sorry, not Celine. Mariah.
Okay.
I was saying I was using Celine as an example.
We lose
of
Celine later on in the conversation. And Juan said, absolutely not.
I live on Earth.
I said, to me, the kind of singing that Whitney was doing, even with an intense amount of vocal support and a Celine Dion level militancy, even with that, I don't think she would have maintained her voice. I don't think it maybe would have gotten as shredded as it was,
right?
But she would have not been able to sing the material in the keys as they were written.
Yeah, exactly.
You're saying exactly, but you were like, no,
but at the time, it was no, that's not possible. That's not possible. Oh. That would not happen. That wouldn't happen.
Everyone was speaking in certainty.
To me, it's not possible because. I stand by that because it's not possible just because of the wear and tear.
Right.
Like Whitney she was demanding a lot, even for her peak form. But even at her peak.
This is not. I thought about this afterward, but this is something that Whitney for the wear and tear that you speak of is not something that Whitney really like. She was a one-take wonder, so she was giving you this crazy vocal without really trying too hard. Like she's saying, "I'm your baby tonight." In one take because she needed to get to the mall. You know what I mean? So I do, I do understand. Like if she had the forehead vein and she was like, you know, really trying to get it out. I could see that, like, years and years of that taking a toll. But that lady used to blow with very little effort.
Yes.
You know,
she had a recipe that allowed. It is why we call her the GOAT. And if we're gonna get all Aaron Hagen-y, which is what was driving me crazy.
Who's Aaron Hagen for the class?
Correct. Sorry, that is me and Juan's voice teacher, legendary voice teacher. Of ours, Ariana's, has literally taught fixed voices. I mean, the list goes on, right?
Oh, you gotta go see her.
It's me. And was the number he's still alive. Is the number one Whitney, you know, like, what Whitney does is what he teaches, right? This, like, and not to get too specific, but like a good amount of hoot and honk and adduction, getting your core to all that thing. And so when I am sitting at Soho House across the fucking dinner table from my best friend who knows this thing and like all of those ideas, and is like telling me, well, but that wouldn't, she still would have never been able to, blah, blah, blah. It's not possible because she's Whitney. And that would, like, you weren't allowing for the hypothesis of, like, it could stand to reason that if she was not the crackhead and if she wasn't the Whitney that lived.
She made too much money to smoke crack.
Exactly. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Got it.
Respect on her name.
But that was what was driving me crazy. Is like we were both arguing, and I was like, "Oh, you are not allowing for the possibility of my hypothesis. You're just saying, but that wouldn't be because I live on Earth. I'm not doing no highfalutin, blah 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 blah." And that's what was driving me crazy. Is I was like, Juan, you're literally being difficult right now, like on purpose. You know, it was a whole thing. Play the clip.
Run it back.
Houston would not be able to do that because she's a fucking cookie group. Maybe Houston is good.
Juan, we're speaking hypotheticals right now. Okay. I said if Whitney was to do those things, she for sure would be able to sing in that way.
Not possible.
Juan, you
not possible. 400 years of slavery on her shoulders. It's not possible.
You are not. No.
Yes.
No. If she did that thing would happen. You're just saying, but she would never do that thing. And I'm not arguing that she wouldn't. I'm saying that yes, her name is Nippy, and she loved drugs, and she was a hood girl who was just like, I'm a really good singer, and that's fine and dandy. But I like to be a fucking cokehead, and I want to feel like a fucking girl from the hood. I understand that that's what she was, but I am saying if she was not who she was, and she did what the other,
but she wasn't that.
We're speaking in hypothetical.
No,
Run it back.
No, that was my favorite part when he was talking to Juan like he was a dog. Juan, no.
Yes, Ian. Yes.
Meanwhile, David Archuleta is sitting across the table and
filming it.
Yeah, the only footages we have is David Archuleta.
They're in his archive now,
right?
And I think a bit of the point I was also trying to make, and something it's why certain singers can still do a version of what they did when they were younger, maybe not at that level, is because they have a recipe that is not dead-endy. And what I mean by that is, you know, Mariah, she gave you some crazy fucking amazing singing at a level that was unsustainable, as we now know, and there are reasons why. I'm not going to get into it, but like she didn't have enough hoot to balance her honk is just essentially what I'm going to say. But Whitney had the perfect amount of hoot and honk. And so if she was still alive and she kept up, yes, old age, and certainly there's going to be like, okay, we're going to have to lower that key because Celine had to lower those keys also. But the integrity of color and the integrity of like shades around the sound of her voice would have stayed. I really do believe, because she had the perfect recipe. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what's wonderful about being gay is that you know, everyone's got an opinion.
We do.
And the ESPN Sports Center debacles that you see all of these men having on, straight cis men having on ESPN, this is what we do.
It ain't nothing.
These are our athletes.
But like Juani, like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you push back? Like, what are your?
I guess my only pushback would be that I think her recipe is excellent, and it was. And when he says hoot and honk, we're talking about resonance,
Yeah.
and like tapping into different, but anyway, I think that I guess maybe it's because of my own jadedness, but even with really good recipes, the chords are still just getting too much wear and tear to ever get the cleanliness out of the sound later. I think the rasp would have come in.
Anyway.
I think the rasp would have come in.
But that's, that is age,
And it's also, you know what? Here's the thing.
And you know what?
Here's the thing. We talk about Celine, and Celine, hoo, quiet, everything quiet. And look, and even she's had to do that. And Whitney was never going to be that quiet.
Yeah, I know. So could you imagine if that's what I just love to do, is I love to be like, what would have happened
hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
She's
I love a
dead.
hypothetical. Yeah.
May God rest her soul and her voice. Luck, and that's also part of it, is that like, Whitney, she really went through it in the press and in people's eyes after a certain amount of time because of her, battle with cocaine and all the substances and stuff. But it's kind of nice that we have her in that point in time where it didn't get worse. It kind of just stayed there, and then she passed. So we really just know the voice, and, I also think to defend Mariah a little bit, Mariah also likes to sing whispery. She likes that like Minnie Riperton like kind of softness. But also she came out at a time where ballads were ballads, and she could do it. And I've seen a Mariah live, and sometimes she'll bring it out from the back. She'll still show you like, hey, no, I still have it here. It's not on every song, but I will bring it out for,
Maybe a We Belong Together with like just with some creative riffing.
Correct.
At the end there to bring us home. No,
who still sounds excellent is Christina Aguilera, who sounds better live than she does on the record, I think. Or
as good, like I don't know what performance you saw, and I believe you, but I did just see her at LA Philharmonic, and she sounded amazing.
Amazing.
She's probably feeling good. She's like, I'm back to my birth weight. So that's
yes, truly, honey.
The placebo of that is probably making her feel, if you put on the cute outfit, you dance better. If you put on the cute outfit, you work out better. You know what I mean?
Well, that's crazy because usually I think fat people sing better.
Well, chord thickness, I don't know, gets affected by weight loss in the way that you think.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe I just like the way big bitches sound better.
Yeah, right. It's like a little more,
I'm like, yes, that sounds
it.
good coming out of you, man.
I think we should do a listening party, a Coachella inspired kind of listening party of our favorite artists, our favorite version of our favorite artists' songs.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well,
our favorite live versions of our favorite artist songs.
Well, let's do something. Let's take it up a notch. Since we're rounding out the end of this episode, the two of you will go down. If you had to pick 3 main acts, divas only, alive, that were performing at your fantasy Coachella next year, only women, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, who would they be?
Woo! You first.
Okay. In no particular order, but I think it would be really fun. I think Katy Perry would actually be really fun. Like for the level of songs that would just make everyone be like, "Wah!" You know what I mean? Like, let's keep the party going. I would start with her maybe on Friday, right?
Right.
And then for like Saturday and like Sunday, I think I would go. But one of them has already sung, but like Ari. I would
Okay.
want Ari again. I would want Ari again for sure.
Okay.
I mean, Christina would be fun. Christina would be great. I would love a Christina moment. Close me out with Stripped, Stronger, Dirty. Come on. To see that live, gotta get dirty.
Yeah, it's fun.
Gotta get.
Gotta get.
Yeah. Gotta go right now. Gotta go.
Okay. So and these are, I'm going to pick people that haven't performed at Coachella.
Okay.
Friday night, I would get the party started, going, excited with Jennifer Lopez. I think that would be a lot of dance. I would be,
Oh my God.
I just feel like there would be a lot of people she could bring out. Mr. 35.
Yep.
Saturday night, it would have to be, and this is just a fantasy, all right? This is my perfect world. Britney Spears just...
Oh my God.
Oh,
Sorry, I listened to singers.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
that would be.
Yep.
That. And then I would end with, on Sunday, I would have... I think, has Janet done it?
Yes, thank you.
Janet... I don't know if Janet Jackson has done Coachella, but I feel like Janet Jackson, the pleasure principle. I think Madonna's done it also, but it would be between Madonna and Janet.
Yeah.
To close it out.
I was gonna say Madonna for one of my nights, but I didn't realize that she'd already done Coachella.
I think.
But then I'm gonna sub out my Madonna, but because Madonna has been mentioned.
Maybe she hasn't. Sorry, I don't know if she has.
Maybe she hasn't. I don't know. Maybe. Well, one of them would be Gloria Estefan.
Oh,
Probably for a Friday
sure.
night. Like, I think that would be really, really fun. I think that she could be like, I don't know, it would just be like vintage vibes for the young people and really
Vintage vibe,
joyous
for
and
sure.
you
she'd
know what
bring
I mean?
out her
It would just be-
daughter to play the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
It'd be
good.
fun.
Great
It'd be
idea.
so fun. My mom would be able to come. It'd be really. I think it should be great. Okay, so then all like the other like big acts. You've already mentioned the ones two that I really wanted, which I really wanted Ariana again because like she is that gal. But Mariah's already done it,
She has?
right? Mariah's not done Coachella.
Coachella. I feel like we would know if Madonna or Mariah had done
Okay,
Coachella.
so then I would want Mariah, but let me tell you what I want from Mariah. I want, if you guys could look up her like we belong together like unplugged set.
Yeah.
I want small, intimate at the beginning. Da, 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 da. I want her to bring on guests and then just finish it out with the hits. And I want her to bring Celine on and then for them to sing together. I want it to be like a little Divas Live between the two of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I need, exactly that. And then for my third night, I don't know, but I think this would be really fun. Shakira.
Oh yeah, that would be
Yes. Yep. Oh my God. Yeah. This is so. Yeah.
Those would be. I mean, yeah, because like Shakira is not maybe would have been in my first top three, but with this,
Yeah.
fun.
yeah. Or olvídate, Olga Tañón en la India.
Oh my God.
That's what I really want.
That's definitely giving more outdoor stage, but
Which is really fun.
It's giving Orange Bowl, Kendall Regional.
Oh
Hot
my
Wheels.
God.
and
Yeah.
that is Tres Leches
Dolphin
Chela.
Overall, I think they need to have at least everything we picked would be an amazing. We just gave them a lineup for the next 3 years.
Well, they usually just pick one millennial choice, but
know,
you
but-
know, so it's hard out here for a pimp. I was trying to think
said
of
that?
younger artists. I'm like, no, she's not ready for main stage. No,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
not ready for main stage. All right, well, Milkers, please, festival, do it.
Do it.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Also, please rate, subscribe to our show if you don't already. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Please go watch it on YouTube if you listen to us on your earphones, or you can continue to just listen, but just go subscribe because we need to get our subscriber count up. But please go rate and review the show. Share it with someone you love. If you have any gays in your life who are completely clueless, send them this, and maybe they'll learn a thing or two.
Yeah. Or girls. If you know, the girls are the ones who spend money. That's
girls.
also the demographics. We need to boop, 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 pump that up.
Ian knows that from his.
Yeah.
Yeah. The girls,
yeah.
tap into the girls.
Tap into the girls, okay?
We love you.
We love you so much.
Bye.
Come on, anybody, niya conga.
Qué rico.
Someone